Morning. This is Minister Peaceful Poet, and this will be Good Morning, Mr. Peaceful Poet number two. And of course, Iran, because of course, we're going to talk about Iran. A lot of people are concerned that there's going to be a nuclear bomb. And everybody knows that Israel has a bomb. And supposedly, if it looks like they're not going to win, then they'll let that bomb go. But I don't think that's going to happen. When the Gaza war started October 7th, I think, what was that, 2023? On that day when I woke up, uh, there's a voice in my head that said, it started. I'm like, what? So I checked my computer, and sure enough, we were at war. There was a war with Gaza. And so I spent a long time trying to, I got to take this out of my ear. I spent a long time trying to figure out what that was. Uh, what this meant, it started, what exactly started. And I never did figure it out. I never did figure that out until now, until just recently, actually a couple days ago. Um, I remember before I was born. I've told you that just about in, I don't know, so many times now. I'm not going to tell you the memory. I'll just tell you the last part of it. The last part of it was I saw this great big hole or window, and it was looking down on the earth. And the very last part I saw was all these ugly, terrible things going on the earth. This was the last part of it. On the well, I guess I'm confusing you. I'm sorry. The last part of the dream was is I'm sitting in front of this hole, this window, and I'm looking down on the earth and I'm seeing all this stuff. And I can't remember the things that I saw because the things that I saw were just awful and terrible. I knew they were awful and terrible, but I can't remember what I saw, except for the very last thing, and that was an atomic explosion bellowing up from the earth. Uh, and so I think that there is supposed to be a nuclear explosion. I think that's what's supposed to happen, but it's not going to happen. There was a video I posted on the top of my uh, Facebook page. I pinned it to the top. And the only reason I pinned it to the top because, you know, some people might think that this is war against a war of Christians against Muslims, and there are people who do believe that, and probably more now, more strongly now. So that's the reason I posted that, so that you would. I've said this many times. Now I'm not Christian and I'm not Islam. I am um, I'm multi-religion. I believe in all religions. So I'm not a member of any one, but I believe in all of them. And there's a reason for that, and it's a long explanation, and I'm not going to go into that there. But needless to say, this video is um, a Muslim sheikh, I think, is what they call him. He's very intelligent. He knows the scriptures really well, and he's famous. And I could try to tell you his name, but I couldn't pronounce it. So all I know is he's a sheik. And that's all I know. But he worked with Christians to create a huge bunch of videos that were posted on YouTube, and it's called Phase 3. Really awesome, interesting as can be. It just opens up your eyes to so many things. But and if you're interested, I can send you a link if you're interested if you ask. But anyways, so I posted this because he's talking about the end times. He's describing the end times, and you would be really surprised if you listen to him. You'd be surprised that the Islam prophecy of the end times is almost exactly the same as the Christian prophecy of the end times. They're almost both exactly the same. There isn't a lot of difference between Christian and Islam. There really isn't as far as the beliefs goes. Now, the practices and traditions might be all different, but the beliefs are pretty similar, almost exact. And I wanted you to see that so that you can understand that you're probably closer to the to Islam than you are the Jews. But if that, so that's the reason why I posted that. But I didn't post that because I believe that the prophecy he describes in there, which is horrible, he says that 90% of the people on the earth are going to be killed. That's not going to happen. Okay. But it was supposed to happen. Okay. It was supposed to happen, but it's not going to happen. Something changed, and I don't know what. I just know something changed. So these things aren't going to happen. And one of the reasons I'm saying that is because though I do remember that there was, see, I think what that voice in my head that says it started, I just realized it's telling me that the memory I have looking down on Earth just started. That's what that's telling me. Okay, so that's what I just realized a couple days ago. And though I cannot remember everything, I just know there were just horrible things that I just too horrible to remember. Well, if you look into the Epstein files, they're there. Horrible things. I'm sure that if anybody would witness such a thing, a human being was to witness such a thing, they would be just horrified. They would be mentally ill. I mean, it would be awful. But non-humans can see that stuff and it won't bother them at all because they don't feel stuff. But that's another deal there. But anyways, so those are so that's what it meant. So it started and the memory things that I remember. And the last part of it was the atomic explosion, which is supposed to happen, but it's not going to happen. When I was very little, probably it's just when I like learned to walk and talk, I had these visions. I would see the atomic explosion bellow up, and then it would stop, and then a red X would be painted over it. That was the vision. I saw that vision about every day, man. I must have saw it about like 12, 13, 14 times. I don't know. And sometimes I 2 or 3 days would go by and I wouldn't see it, and then I'd start seeing it again. It was just weird. I saw that vision so many times when I was a little kid. And of course, I always believed, well, it's my job to stop us from having a nuke. And I'm like, well, how the heck can I do that? I can't do that. So I've taken it to mean that it was telling me that what I saw isn't going to happen. And what is probably prophesied to happen, that is supposed to happen, isn't going to happen. Something different is going to happen. Something different. So I did make a video, I don't know, a couple years back telling you about the same thing, but I think it's important for me to explain it again because a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are worried. And so that really was the whole purpose of my video. But let's talk about some things because first of all, I just discovered you'll see these videos or you see these pictures of our aircraft carrier being bombed. Well, that was an AI creation by Iran. Now, they sent some hypersonic missiles towards it, believing that that would have taken it out because we can't stop. We have nothing to stop hypersonic missiles. We can't do that. But I just recently discovered that we have on the aircraft carrier energy weapons, and the energy weapons can take out a hypersonic missile. And this new technology that is kept under wraps will be coming out soon. And so that's why Iran thought they hit the aircraft carrier, but they didn't. They didn't. So it's still out there. Um, and yeah, supposedly uh, the extraterrestrials who are coming to visit us on Earth. I mean, literally introduce themselves. The big uh, reveal. It's supposed to happen this year or next year. And I don't know. I'm sure all of you have this weird feeling. I got this weird feeling, and I'm sure a lot of you out there have this weird feeling. And it's like it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. It isn't fear. It's like the unknowing, unknowing. Anyways, I'm sure you all feel it. Um, I try to keep up on everything, but it's kind of difficult. But let me just tell you what I think is going to happen, okay? This is what I think is going to happen. I think the war is going to end in September, like they say, and Trump is going to say, "Oh, I have look, I made peace. I'm the peace. I'm the peace guy." You know how he does, and he's going to think we're going to buy it. I don't know. I heard him once in the Oval Office say that the Palestinians love him. Really, he said that with a straight face. He says, the Palestinians love me. And I'm like, see, so I think people are feeding him a bunch of, and plus he watches Fox News. And I don't know, man, Fox News is the worst thing to watch during a war because they'll always lie to you. They always lie to you about a war. They might tell you the truth about other things, but when it comes to war, they don't tell the truth about nothing, man. They lie about everything. And so you can watch Fox News, like I've watched it like maybe a minute or two, and yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we're winning, we're winning like crazy. But they don't talk about the 27. Now there might be more now, but last time I heard a number, it was 27 bases. Our bases, 27 of our bases have been hit and damaged really bad. Some of them beyond repair. And we're winning? Really? And they claim that they sunk all the ships and they bombed all the airports and stuff. And um, Iran is putting out these pictures showing how they painted pictures of helicopters and drones and airplanes on the ground, and we bombed them. And then uh, I saw a video of something that Iran purchased from China, and they're inflatable planes, inflatable. You know, I mean, Iran's smart. They're not stupid. They're smart. That is funny. And of course, I was wondering, they claimed that they moved all of their missiles out of the missile silos and hid them somewhere else. And I'm like, well, how could they do that? Our satellites would see them. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, our satellites don't see them all the time. They can only see them during daylight. They can't see them at night. So maybe they have during the night. They moved all their missiles somewhere else, and we're just bombing empty silos. But no, we don't have we can't beat Iran, and we know we can't beat Iran. Uh, they're just pretending like they're winning, and they're hoping that the people of Iran will get fed up. Well, I think Trump is just being fed a bunch of garbage. He just like he thinks that the Palestinian people love him, he probably thinks the Iranian people are really suffering under their ruling party, you know. But no, their government, I think, takes good care of their people, probably better than we do ours. But it's difficult for them because of all the sanctions that we've been throwing on them. So that's difficult for them. It's not the government's fault. We did it. We did that. Anyways, yeah, you all know that. But anyway, but we can't beat Iran, and we know we can't beat Iran. And they've done multiple computer tests. You know, there's another word for it, but I can't think of it. And each time we've lost and Iran has won. So they know we can't win. Israel certainly couldn't win. It's impossible for Israel. And when Israel is the size of New Jersey, and Iran, I think, is bigger than Texas. Well, I'm sure it is bigger than Texas. It's huge. And so if two countries are bombing each other, the smallest country is going to get bombed first. I mean, going to get, you know, because it's smaller. I mean, it just makes sense. So yeah, it can't be done. Israel can't beat, and the only way we can beat Iran is if we drop a nuke on it, and we're not going to do that. There isn't going to be any nukes because the Galactic Federation isn't going to allow it. Uh, you can look this up for yourself, but in Russia and in the United States, UFOs have appeared at nuclear silos, nuclear missile silos, and just shut them down. And they couldn't figure out how, and nothing, they couldn't find anything wrong. And they couldn't get them turned back on until the UFOs left. And there were agreements made long ago that nukes were not supposed to be used. And so, yeah, the Galactic Federation's not going to allow it. They'll shut it down. And what I'm thinking might happen is Israel, the idiots that they are, might just try to launch that nuke missile and it's going to backfire. And maybe that's what's going to happen. It's going to backfire and may not be a nuclear explosion, but it may be a pretty big explosion. Oh, that might happen, but for sure they won't be able to use a nuke. And we can't win, they can't win. What's going to happen is around September, they'll probably be trying to impeach Trump, I'm sure. But in September, we'll end it, and then we'll come up with some crazy thing about how we won, and that we made peace, and that Trump is the peace president. And of course, there won't be much left of Israel by then. So Israel will no longer have power over us anymore. They won't be powerful enough. And I really think a lot of people are hoping for that, even those who are under control, even those who are under control of Israel, because nobody likes to be controlled. Nobody likes to be under anybody's thumb. So I think everybody is really kind of hoping for this. Now, will Israel be completely well, then what's supposed to happen is the Iranian military is supposed to go into Israel. They're supposed to go through Syria, I guess, down through Syria and Lebanon, and there'll be probably a little bit of fight going through Syria, possibly. Of course, Lebanon, that's where it's all going to start. And head on down into Israel, and so Israel might be done. Or if it's still alive, it will be just a tiny little town and they won't have anything. But it's done. Anyways, so in September, Trump's going to be, I'm the peace president. I made peace, because we're not going to buy it because he started the war. You can't start a war and then end it and say, look what I did. I ended it. I mean, that's ridiculous, but that's what he's going to try to do. And then they're going to try to do this before the November elections. And, who knows what's going to happen. I I last time I didn't vote because it was the first time in my whole life I've never voted. Because everybody on that ballot was an Israeli supporter and I'm sure was receiving funds from Israel. There's a new organization, I think ASPAC, I think it is, but they keep track of all that stuff. And so when elections come again, if there's anybody on that ballot who isn't being supported by Israel, I'll vote for them. I don't care what they think. I don't care what they believe. I don't care. Just as if they don't support Israel, they got my vote. That's all I want. That's all I want to know. Because regardless of what if they tell you, They're going to do whatever Israel tells them to do. So they're all they're, they're going to tell you they're going to give you a million dreams and tell you all this stuff like Trump unfortunately did, and then they're going to do what Israel says, and that's what Trump did. I don't think Trump is a terribly bad person, but I just think he's being controlled. If you're being controlled, you're being controlled. You're not really you, right? You're somebody else. And so I don't judge. I just we just got to get Israel out of there. We got to get Israel out of there. Anyways, I guess that's about it. Um, Try to be at peace as best you can. Love and peace.